Good morning. I think I'm on 19 for the giveaways. Here's the giveaway bag. And the stickers. And some dominoes. If you write me, I'll give you your email. If you put it in the message, it's number 13. And let's go to 19 for this one. Bring the back up a little. These are giveaways to my subscribers. Just hit me up. Tell me you like the show. Tell me which number, and I'll throw it in an envelope with a 50-cent stamp on it. This one is 19. I paint dominoes, and people give me stickers. 19 if you care for that one. 13 if you want the star. And I'm just going over this stuff because, and if they're not in the pile, that means they're spoken for. This is 10, 9, 19 is really cool. Okay, let's get to 19. 19. Oh, this one. Okay. Like that one too? Oh, I can send that one. I sent you out one, I believe. Should be getting it in the mail tomorrow. That's 19. This is 6. And thanks for joining the show. Lost Hope Productions. You're awesome. He helps me out in more ways than one. Not only a friend, but helps me on my YouTube. Tells me what I'm doing wrong and right. Shows me how to share it. This is Grateful Dead. This one is number 3. These were snuck out of before. See, Grateful Dead, he said nothing he made should be patented or trademarked. And he made all the bears, and all the money was supposed to be for nonprofit. And then he died, and then his family changed the deal. This is number 2. This is number 1. Those are my giveaways. Oh, with the dominoes. I'll just show the dominoes real quick because the dominoes go fast. If you guys have any questions, just hit me up while I'm doing the freebies. Number 16. I paint these, and then I carve them, and then I seal them again. This is smooth on this side for rubbing. This is our rough smooth that you rub. This one's a super rough rub. Just carved out, sealed up again. Number 14. This is stamp art with alcohol ink. No number. Let's give it a number. You're 20 now. 20. Okay. Number 20. Is this one? Throw them in the back so we don't mix up what I already went over. It's in the bag. It's in the bag. This is a plastic piece I made. It's a little plastic. I would fill up a plastic molding. Here is a lake kind of one. Oh, I didn't give you the number, sorry. Oh, 17 anyway. 17. This one, kind of like a Japanese writing. I don't know Japanese. I always just like see things, and then when I'm drawing or painting, it comes back out. I have no clue what it means. No number on that one. Oh boy. 21. 21. Yep. It's 21. Got a little stamp artwork on the side. This paint is a really wild paint. It bubble or makes little circles and stuff. This is 15. Same kind of paint, and except it's been carved on. And there's my freebies up to 21. We'll see how many I can get going, and I've got a couple going out today. And what would we like to talk about today? My show's only 15 minutes today. Cutting it down from an hour. An hour is just too much. If I edited, that would be great. I would probably edit it down to 10 or 15 minutes. Okay. Here we have a TS400. We're still reviewing this. So thanks for the thumbs up. Oh, thank you. And this is the cylinder that it goes with. The transfer dam was, or the intake dam is gone. Knocked it out. Let's check the bottom. Make sure I can get away with that. No, I can't. So we'll make another dam, and I will put a piston in this time instead of the thing I did last time. I'll put a piston in with a piece of tape on the back of the piston. It's a 52. There you go. Piston, and let's cast our dam again. One more time. Get a piece of tape. I'm caught. Thinnest tape I got would be Scotch tape. Oh, there we go. I got a freebie for everyone. I got a set of China doll rings. It's 22. One set of China doll rings. I bought a bunch of these because when I was building China dolls, I found that replacing the rings was one of the best things you could do for compression, was throw a new set of rings in. So I was always putting new rings in once a month at least. And that's another freebie. That's number 22, set of China doll rings, 47 millimeter, 80 cc's. Part number GO056 in the freebie bag. Oh, and you can email me too. I don't care. I gave a. That stops crosstalk? Yes. Intake dams stop crosstalk. Lost hope. Yes. You put a block in here, and that stops crosstalk. All it does is just block the piston right here, instead of having a ton of air go through the open hole. Normally it's like this. I got a 51. This is a 50 millimeter. This is a 50 millimeter 10 millimeter pin piston. This is the one everybody sells you for the MS440. That's a 10 millimeter pin, which is not an MS440. It's a 044. What's the difference? Well, skirt's different. The ring piston spacing's different. It's a completely different piston, not designed for the 44. or for the 440. Tape. Yes, you can repair a China doll. Everything's the same. You shouldn't have a crosstalk problem with China dolls except for on the exhaust side. The exhaust side is usually horrible on a China doll. Usually you have a ton of crosstalk through the exhaust instead of the intake. Well, that worked just for a piece of tape. For that's a 52 millimeter. I'm just looking for a. There we go. That looks like 50. Nope. That one is another 50. Here, 56. Here, 52. Another 50. Okay. Overported. Of course you can overport a China doll. Never go past your skirt. Ever. I mean, you want to make a windowed piston. Okay, sure. I mean, you could do that. But see these lines right here? This is what seals your intake. If you ever go past these things, you're going to have a ton of blow by. You're going to have exhaust leak. You're going to lose compression. So it's always a good idea to mark your pins. Here's the pin mark. And if you draw a line on that, the pin mark goes over here. The manufacturer is saying you want this many millimeters of piston to hold your compression. Over on this side, the pin is right here. And what the manufacturer is saying, you need that much room to hold your compression. And you just want to draw those two lines on there. You can make any size hole as long as you stay within those parameters. On this side over here, just try and remember the same thing as the intake. The exhaust is always going to leak something. I mean, there's no such thing as a perfect piston. I'd love to have one. I've had one super close, like 100 pounds, and it would leak. But on this side, on the exhaust side, if you're going to ramp it, if you're going to adjust the blowdown on the bottom of the skirt, if you're going to widen it on the exhaust side, you do not want to ever pass this point, ever, or your engine will never run right. It will leak at when the piston goes up all the way to the top. It's supposed to block this completely on the sides, on both sides. It's actually like this because that's the intake, but you know, the back side. This is what's blocking the exhaust. When it's all the way up, this is what's holding all your gas, all your air mixture into underneath the piston. This is what's mixing, what mixes the air and gas together is that suction up, and then the push down is going to mix everything perfect into a better mist. You don't want a liquid, you want a mist. I got a few minutes before we're up to 15. Okay, let's ask the crosstalk question. Okay. Do we have crosstalk with the Husqvarna? No, we do not have crosstalk with the Husqvarna. The Husqvarna design cylinder is perfect. The engineer is a marvel of I can't fathom his engineering experience compared to the other cylinders. I mean, his design is so much better. Dual transfers. So it's going to go in here, right? It's going to push out that way. It's going to go in here, right? And push out that way. See how he's got it designed? If I had water, I would put water into this transfer and I would show you the flow. I mean, the flow would be amazing on this. You would see the water. If you put water on both sides, you would see the water coming out swirling in a swirl motion instead of just filling up the cylinder. You would actually see a swirl the way that's cut, and it is marvelous. When I first saw this cylinder, I was like, oh, everybody's got to have this. And then they were like, no, Brad, no, this is for the races and blah, blah, blah. Come on, guys, share. That's what I say. What question do you have on it? Yes, you can use these. Of course you can use this. Why I did not release this is my fellow builders wanted to save it for the race in October. And they wanted to keep it to the racers. And I don't think that's fair. I mean, look at the transfers. Can you see how huge those two big monstrosities are? You see that? Here's your little tiny cylinder, right? This right here minus that. This is your cylinder. Those three things right there. That's your compression. I'm fucking up here. It's not compression. This is your volume chamber right here. These three right here. Look how small the compression chamber is to how large the intake chambers are. Yes, it is beautiful. And the stroke on this is tiny. And some of the mods they do. This is your decompression button right here. Oh, I went over my 15. Damn it. You got me started. This is your decompression button, but it comes out perfectly right before the squish. They set that up for an injector line for the decompression port. I guarantee you that he had other ideas when he put the button on the side instead of the top. That's right before maximum compression point. That's the top of the volume chamber. And wow, that's a nice piston right there. That's nice. That's the one that goes in here. That is a nice piston. I buy all these pistons and then I get them mixed up. Okay, look at this. This is what the manufacturer is saying on this piston. Look where he's got the pins. He's got a pin here and a pin here. See that? See how close those pins are? So what the manufacturer is saying is you need this much room to seal the intake. And it's saying you need this much to seal the intake on this side. See how small they are, how tight that is? This piston is a different design. Wow, that is that's a Husqvarna. This is a Husqvarna. I can't fit a 52 in there, or a 50 and a 49. That's a 50 also. How do I tell Husqvarna? It's easy. These have a circlip release right there. That little button right there means that it's a circlip release. And Husqvarna's don't. So, like, sometimes I'll chip one into it right there. It's supposed to be on the bottom, but you know, if I'm chipping, I'm having a hard time putting a ring in. And that is a Husqvarna. And then this is the Meteor piston. Work's calling. Thank you for tuning in, and please subscribe, please like, please thumbs up me. Love you guys. I'll talk soon. 20-minute show. That's what our show is going to be. 20 minutes.